Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Real Estate Parlor podcast. I'm Matt Labrot. That is. Oh, that was when you were supposed to say your
Chayan
name.
Alavi. I'm Chayan Alavi. It's okay. We're
No,
rolling with it. So
no. Let me go again.
we don't.
Let me
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well,
Go again.
but we can cut it. Yeah, we
Yeah,
can
go
cut
ahead.
this
We'll
one.
cut
Yeah.
it.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 2. Nope, hold on. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Real Estate Parlor podcast. My name is Matt Labrot. This is
Chayan Alavi.
And we are here to talk real estate, but we are not here to talk real estate investments or flips or get rich quick.
No. I need to get rich today. Otherwise,
I am
this
not going
conversation is
to
over.
record. I'm not going to record a video of me standing in front of my Ferrari, which I definitely don't own.
Yeah.
This podcast is for real estate agents who are out there working every day, and we're going to talk shop. We're going to talk things that we see out in the real world, and that's kind of it. If you're looking for the Real Estate Investor Podcast, this is not it.
Let's
talk shop.
And we might not have actually anything valuable to add. So if you're just listening in, I kind of feel bad for you. Hi, Mom. One of two users probably. So anyways, but yeah, I mean, overall, what I want to do is just not keep this at any way form a serious discussion as far as like real estate investing or how to sell real estate or things like that. What really what I want to do, at least my motivation, is just to keep it casual, and whatever's hitting our minds, just roll with it. So that's essentially the breakdown of what we're going to be doing here. And so without further ado, what do you think about the Game of Thrones finale?
Oh, man.
I know. So real estate oriented?
8 to 10 years of my life spent in this world.
People were really,
and I was totally okay
people
with
were really upset about it. I
was not one of those
waited.
people.
I didn't watch the finale with everyone. I had to watch from episode 1 to the final at one shot, and so I timed it perfectly. But what I was hearing, as it was playing out, people were really upset. People were fucking pissed about what was going on. But I finished it, by the way. But what did you think? What honestly, what was your reaction? Was it horseshit? I saw an article that said, did Game of Thrones get lazy?
Yeah, they got lazy spending $3 million on each episode, creating individual movies every time that they made an episode. No, I thought it was great. I thought maybe some people have some unrealistic expectations, but I'm a big fan of a full wrap up, everything coming together, and they gave me that. Maybe the end was not the result that I was expecting, but when is it?
No,
it was by no means a bad finale.
Exactly. I don't know what part or what season or what episode of Game of Thrones had happy endings on it. But overall, I think it was a masterpiece. I'm really happy that I watched from episode 1 to the final episode. I think the storyline was so seamless. It was so well acted. It was so well played out. It had twists and turns. And I remember a scene where my wife, she got really upset when, Khaleesi decided that she was going to burn the town. Because she was the queen, she was going to be the breaker of chains. And all of a sudden that switched. But at the end of the day, what's not real?
Dragons.
Yeah, dragons aren't real, so it doesn't really matter. I didn't think people were actually burning. I thought it was. I could appreciate the storyline for what it was, but overall, dragons aren't real, and those people weren't really dying. So
no, and I get way more upset when something happens to an animal in a TV show than all of the people catching on fire.
Totally, no, that's true.
It really meant nothing to me.
When they killed the wolf. The dire wolf, that was more upsetting than
definitely
Khaleesi taking a sword in the heart from her lover, aunt, or nephew, whatever that was. So, anyways,
before we move on from Game of Thrones, I have one question: is it a rewatchable series for you? Now that you've done it, you've experienced it all. Are you ever going to start it over again?
Definitely watch it again. But what I'm looking forward to is when I forget most of it. So I think there's about a 5-year to 10-year period where you start really forgetting the story. You'll remember big moments, but you'll actually forget all the details. Mm-hmm. And so I've gone back, I watched Dexter 10 years after I think the final episode came out, and I thoroughly enjoyed it again, watching it from the beginning. So I think I'm looking forward to that in Game of Thrones. I think in about 10 years, I'm going to rewatch it. And I'm going to relish in every second of watching that show. So overall, yes, I definitely think it's rewatchable. A lot of details, a lot of little innuendos and turns and things like that, which is really, really cool. And I've got a good friend who doesn't want to watch it. It's like, dude, get over a little bit of incest. Get over a little bit of murder. Like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah,
So,
it's also, again, not real.
yeah,
That's,
again, not real.
Exactly. They are not related
Good
to each other.
storytelling.
That is not,
has a beginning and end.
Yeah.
It's not real. So relax, get over it, calm down.
Okay. That rewatchable question was for you, Danny, who is a real estate agent in our office, and she watches
Khaleesi.
nothing but Game of Thrones.
She's
Over
gonna be
again.
upset that in the first one we're talking about this and we're shitting all over her opinion because she told me not to just watch it. So one of our agents who loves Game of Thrones told us just forget about the last season. It's not even worthy. But I highly disagree. I think it was wonderful. So anyways, moving on. What do we got next? What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about virtual staging.
Okay.
And I want to talk about it because I love and hate it, and I want to see what the world thinks of virtual staging. First of all, I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it's the beginning of.
First explain.
It's just
what
beginning.
What are you talking about? What is virtual staging?
So what I'm talking about
when
is
you wear a headset and you walk, and that's how you see houses. Like, that's what I'm thinking.
No, that is not virtual staging. That is virtual reality walkthroughs. What I'm talking about is somebody takes a picture of an empty room,
okay,
and then they go in with their very bad virtual staging software, and they put a bed and a plant and all of these things in this house that don't actually exist. And then when you walk,
so you Photoshop in fake things in a house to make it look better.
Yes,
okay.
But again, I would like the record to reflect it is not Photoshop. It is janky virtual staging software.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that is smart because I'm sorry if I was not PC with using the word retail, but
you were not.
Reality. Sorry about that. But the reality is, people still have to go see the house, right? They're still going to go look, and if it's so far off, if they can't tell it's virtual stage, that's probably you got away with one part of it, but. For the first part, I've seen a lot of those, and they literally look like they're photoshopped in, and they're done not well. But let's just say you did get one done well. You can't really tell that the bed really wasn't there, the rug wasn't there. Mm-hmm. Overall, you still have to sell the house. And if you're going to go in and you're going to be so far off of what the pictures are reflecting and recapturing that emotion of why the curiosity took them to that listing, there's no point of selling it. Like, you're not going to sell it. And you just spend some money on some Photoshop stuff, and I kind of think it's dumb. I think it's a little bit of selling a lie, a little Game of Thrones action, maybe. I don't know. But that's my thought on it. I don't know what you think. You think it's worth what do those run? Do you have any idea how much a virtual Photoshop listing costs?
Oh, I'm assuming it's got to be free. they got to pay you $10 to do it, or else it's not worth it.
I've seen one time, and they were charging $80 a photo. So. If you think about it, like, in their mind's eye, it takes an average home on the low budget side, probably close to about $3,000 to stage a house. Mm-hmm. So if you're talking about 10 photos at close to $80 a pop, you're going to be under $1,000 in that. So they're like, ooh, I have a huge savings. So they're like, okay, that makes sense. But the reality is it doesn't. I think you're spending good money after bad.
Yeah, and in your mind, it is just as beneficial to have a clean, vacant home.
Totally.
If the home's going to be vacant when they get there, might as well be vacant.
A lot of times, I think vacant homes are discredited too much. Remember, whenever you stage a home, no matter who's staging it, it is taste specific. Like, every furniture and every detail on an item of a house will meet someone's criteria and not meet another person's criteria. So if you're going to stage a house, you're already taking a risk. Now, you can do it better sometimes than not, things that are more generic, more neutral, but reality is it doesn't meet everybody's, taste, And so overall, if you're going to stage it, you're already going to outside. But if the house is clean, a room will never show bigger than when there's nothing in it. Right. Definitely. And you don't want to sell small rooms. Small rooms don't usually sell well. So staging is not always perceived. It's perceived as like, ooh, that's nice because that's what magazines do. But the reality is, for selling a home, I think it's a 50-50, and maybe that 50-50 is not worth spending the money, both for the agent and for the seller. So
yeah. I mean, if you're eating all of those costs, it's really hard to come back to the seller and say, the reason we got so many offers is because I virtually staged these photos. It's probably because you priced the home well and it looks good in person is why you got multiple offers.
I totally agree with that. That's for sure. So, like, talking about staging, I want to talk about the things that we come across on the MLS. So we have an internal, brokerage Slack channel, and the agents do like to share the funny listings that we see, and it's again, more or less in real estate. There's so many agents in the world, and it's truly proven that it's not what you know, it's who you know. We're all related to an agent somewhere, somehow, and you're not always like picking the best agent. Most people don't do that. We do a lot of business, and yes, there are people who vet us and want to interview us and like want to interview multiple agents, but most of the time, unfortunately for us, because I think we would stand out, that's not the case. They just take their friend and family, their neighbor, and they do things like this. Let me show you. This is a real listing I saw this weekend. Okay. This is an actual photo. This is the first photo. And this is actually a very nice house. Okay. This is not like a janky house or anything like that. But what do you think of this particular photo? Like, what is that? Are they in a safari? Like, are they saying that this is a wild house that's like in the jungles? Like, what is that? Why?
This is photo number one.
This is photo number one. So this is the first photo. This is how they're selling the home. Now, they actually show better angles of this, but why did you select this as your photo? Because even if you can see past the bush, you're seeing like 50% is just the driveway. It's just concrete. Why is that? And it's a really nice house. I actually really personally am interested in this house.
I can see it looks very nice. I know
it's upgraded. It's nice.
This bush. Yeah.
It's got a beautiful fence. It's got manicured lawns. Like, what are they thinking? Why would somebody do that? Explain that to me.
They think they are being artsy.
Yeah, is that what it is?
That is 100%.
That is an
I took an
photo.
Instagram. Yeah, I took an Instagram posting class, and they said to blur my main item behind a freaking plant.
The main item you're trying to sell. Make sure it's blurred.
Yeah, because based off of what I know about this area, or is this in our area?
Yeah, it's in Santa Ana.
Okay, so this home is more than $600,000.
Barely, but yes, it is more.
Yeah, this is in the $600,000.
Correct.
Range.
It's in the higher. It's in the higher median of the area. Like, this is a nicer house for the neighborhood. But yeah, that's the photo that they're leaving, and it gets better and worse than this. Here's another photo really close by, and this is the main photo too. Okay, this is not a secondary 5th, 7th, 10th photo. This is the main image. Whew. Okay, it's like that's the first, not the outside, because I think the outside can't get worse than the inside, and actually can't. But that's what they're starting with. Okay. Wow.
Thoughts. I love it because it reminds me of my grandmother's home.
Your grandma, who is probably not alive, because that is so old and dusty, and like it looks like their skeletons buried under that red bloody carpet. But again, it just proves, why are you choosing this photo? Why are you choosing this angle? There's just a lot of things going on. You can even see the flash is brightening off the phone, which means they're probably using an old digital pixel camera. Yeah. But yeah, it's okay. Actually,
well, hold on. Let me. So I was joking. I don't love the photo. It's bad. But what I want to call out is the fact that there are things in this photo that would photograph really well. These are high arching ceilings.
It's a beautiful big room. Yeah.
It's probably an amazing living room, family room. It's got this cool fireplace. It's a little bit different. And this is what they go with. And it just doesn't make any sense.
If I had to, like, which we've done, is I would move that furniture out of the way. You can bring yourself and another person, and you could just move that table, move that couch out of the screen, move that dining room. The dining room's really far, but you can make it a lot nicer. But they just choose not to do it. There's other photos in this listing where they haven't done the dishes in the kitchen. Like, they've got jugs out everywhere. They've got toothbrushes out and cleaning supplies. Like, it's just, but just to give you a little bit of an insight, and I don't mean to poke too much fun at this, but I want you to read what the agent put in the private comments to see how to get access to this house.
Okay.
Can you read this?
For everybody who doesn't know, there's the listing description. So for anybody non-realtors that are listening, there's a listing description that anybody can see.
Front viewing,
and then there is private just for us.
Yeah, just for the agents to see. This is what they wrote. Read this for me. This is the same house, okay? So this puts it into some perspective of what we're dealing with.
So this agent would like you. So the show instructions are beep/page realtor Ellen at this phone number, and I will return your beep/page ASAP. Also, I have gotten too many beeps with wrong numbers! Exclamation point. I cannot call you back if you don't give me the right number. So do it twice to make sure it's
Yeah.
correct.
So I don't even know how to page somebody anymore. I haven't paged somebody in probably 20 years. And it's just funny that there's actually somebody out there. And I can imagine her robocalls on her beeper are going off like crazy, right? And she's like, I don't understand why I can't call back these numbers who are beeping me. But yeah, I think, can you guess how many days this listing has been on the market? And regardless of price, right? Like price is relative. What's your guess? Worst case scenario, how many days this has been on the market?
I'm going to go conservative and say this has been on the market for 100 days.
Yeah, you're not even halfway there. So
Okay.
It's been on the market well over 200 days. And I don't have any idea of how to even get access to the house because I don't know how to beep the agent. But overall, like these are the kind of the things we come across, and it's just mind boggling. And it's really, there's no, and I don't know, can't judge the agent for her work, but I can judge her for the listing. And
Yes.
overall, there are some serious mistakes that they've made, and I would definitely recommend, interviewing your agent a little bit and going from there.
Well, a couple other things to call out in just this text here. It says, if I haven't called you back, do it again! Exclamation point. The beeping company cannot keep a record of the phone calls coming into them. Do you know why, Ellen, they can't keep a record? Because they don't exist
Right,
anymore.
exactly.
Nobody knows how to beep
Nobody
anymore.
knows how to page somebody, so please help us. And she's kind of retro, right? she's got a beeper.
And also,
know how to
we're
get a
by no
beeper.
means making too much fun of
Yeah,
Ellen.
she might-
So a little bit. She might just be a little behind on the times.
Honestly, if she told me to fax her, I would know how to do that better than I knew how to beep her. Like I don't even understand. Like I don't know. Anyways, it's moving on. I want to show you this one. This one's a kick. This is $1 million listing. Again, it's not what you know. It's, I guess, who you know to get these listings. But do you see anything funny about this one? And I like this one because this one keeps going.
Let's see. I see beautiful countertops. I see an artsy bush. I see nice. Oh, hello, sir.
Oh, hi there. Nice iPhone pictures in your $1 million listing. Yeah, no.
And not even just once. He is in
Yeah,
there twice.
he's like
Actually,
angled himself so he can double appear.
yeah, if you zoom in right to the left,
Oh yeah,
you can see him. He's in all
he's
of the
in
mirror
1, 2,
shots.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I see the flash about 9 times, so it shows you that he's in 9 parts of this image alone. But I love it because I don't know what you want to nickname this guy, but he keeps going. Oh, he makes it good. Let's keep it rolling. What do you think of this one? I love this one. this is technically not the same one, but just as good.
Well, we're now going to categorize all of this guy as this guy.
Yeah.
Like we know
I
it's
think
not
he
the same
should be
person,
called
but
the spy or the
he's your camera guy.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I love it. I love it.
But see,
What's
and
he
this
zooming
guy,
on? He's like intensely looking at something. I don't exactly know.
he brought a full-size DSLR
He did.
into a bathroom that he didn't take the towel off of the bathtub.
He absolutely did, which is part of it is so great. You could at least move the towel, homeboy. Okay.
Yeah.
This one may not reveal what I'm looking at, but I just have to build it up. This is like a build up. Okay, so you can't see anything normal in this photo, but it's hilarious. I mean, you can see him behind a lamp? Do you see him there?
Yeah, I can see him on the far
Okay.
right.
All right. So
but that's not what we're talking about.
That's not what we were talking about. But if we if we do this enhancement, we're gonna enhance. It's like, hey, I see you. Talk to me.
Oh man! So in his mind, he's like, "All right, I got a great shot of the fireplace all the way back here.
Yeah,
let's get up in this fireplace.
Let's just get up in here and just keep it rolling." So yeah, I just love that he's in the flames, and I'm sure that nobody's going to notice that when they're trying to look at this house. So it's just incredible what we see, the amount of professionalism and not sometimes. So that's
well. So while we're on this subject, I want to ask you: do you think any of these photos have stopped any of these homes from selling, or will stop them from selling?
No, I don't think so. I think it may reduce the speed of selling. And I think in residential real estate, the most important factor for any house ever listed is price. So I
Yes.
don't care what condition the house is in, there's the right price. If you price something correctly, it will sell. Just because of your geographical location, the square footage, there's so many other attributes that are really important to real estate. And if you price it correctly, not only should it sell, but it should sell quickly and it should sell with good terms because you've done your job. And I've estimated in my career that things will sell within 1%. So 1% of course gets bigger and greater as you get up there because 1% of a million is still 10 grand. But if you're talking about a $350,000 house, within 3 grand, if you price it correctly, at the most is going to be the fluctuation of the difference. So I think even though these photos are funny, sometimes they're not done really well. It may just not make the most interested parties run over there with their money and their wallets on fire. But overall,
Yeah.
that's my thoughts on it.
So I think that's kind of my feelings about it is this first photo you sent behind the bush. This home looks great, and I'm sure they're going to click through a couple more photos, and it's going to open up a little bit, and they'll start to like the home a little bit more, and it's probably going to sell. But a great photographed home are going to get people flocking in to see it.
Right.
And that's the difference. Is this guy in the
Yeah.
mirror, he probably didn't ruin his chances of selling the home. The only person who probably did is the realtor with the beeping.
Yeah.
But that's just because we don't know how to do it.
Totally.
But the rest of these will sell. It's just, of course, a time frame. If people aren't flocking in to see it because they don't like the creepy guy behind the flames, that's going to delay the close.
Yeah. I agree with that. So what let me ask you this. What's the craziest? Have you ever gone to an open house that was crazy?
Yeah. I went to an open house yesterday.
Okay.
That was crazy.
What was crazy about it?
Because so it wasn't supposed to be an open house. It was a vacant home. I was taking my buyers.
So you didn't go to an open house. You went to a house yesterday. Okay,
Nope,
let's just call it what it is. Oh,
it wasn't supposed to be an open
Okay.
house. It was supposed to be a vacant home. I told my buyers it was vacant. We could go see it whenever they wanted. And we show up, and there just so happens to be a gentleman there doing an open house. And this is your grinder type of real estate agent. It is 4 p.m. on a Monday, and he is sitting at his table prepared for an open house, just waiting for somebody to walk in and buy this home. This home used to be a crack den. Like literally in the description says we kick these other people out. Full disclosure, there is methamphetamine fumes or whatever in the house. So this guy is sitting on an open house where there is paint peeling down from the walls. Each room has a different color painting in it. It is disgusting. It smells terribly. And this guy he was so nice and he was working so hard. And then as soon as we left, he got the heck out of there because he didn't want to be there anymore.
Right.
But it just the people who are doing these open houses trying to grind out.
Yeah. If you're capable of doing something like that, you should be rich because you're willing to sacrifice so much. But also real estate is a weird job because our job is essentially marketing with the result of it doing a real estate deal, right? There's so many real estate agents and there's a lot of issues about pricing, like real estate agents are overpaid. They don't do enough for the job. And it's so sad because there's a lot of truth to that. But in the reality of it, it's not. It is a series of averages and things usually equal out, right? Nobody complains that a realtor takes somebody out to see 50 houses and there's no paycheck. They spend time, they spend gas, they spend efforts, and there's no paycheck there. And even if they had put them in escrow, then they've got that whole circus to deal with. And if it doesn't close, they don't get paid. But nobody complains about that. They just complain about the one deal that they do that's pretty easy. It's a slam dunk. Buyer and seller agree on most things. And it is easy money. But the easy money is coupled with the hard money. And that's why it becomes this blend that becomes fair. Overall, I think the services have been changed a lot with technology, and I don't think real estate itself, as far as its pricing, has modified itself, but it should. And I think in the coming weeks, years, months, it probably will become more competitive and become more streamlined with the helps of technology. But overall, I see a lot of that. But what I was going with the open house thing was not necessarily what you were talking about. I was talking about the other.
That was crazy for
Yeah,
me.
that is
Yeah.
no, it is a crazy open house. But I was going the other end of the spectrum. I was talking about the open house I went where they went all out. They had um, a pianist. Yeah,
Whoa.
they had a pianist. They had a waiter. And this is not a multi-million dollar house. This was an average priced home for the area, very average priced.
Ugh.
And they had a pianist. They had a waiter who was delivering hors d'oeuvres and appetizers to people. What else did they have? Yeah, it was just over the top. It was really really over the top. It's like, does that work? Like, is that one going to make my house sell more? Two, is it going to get me more listings? Like if I say, hey, my open houses has a piano, and I'm not talking about like Alexa playing a piano song. I'm talking about an actual baby grand rolled in and somebody was jamming on it. And but in a nice, elegant, classical way.
Yeah.
What is that? What is that? Is that brilliant or is that retarded? Again, PC, sorry
That
about the word.
that is brilliant because it's different, but most likely will not pay for itself. Well, I think a lot of people do stuff like branded keychains or notebooks. I swoop on, other agents' notebooks or pens all the time because they're always kind of
Yeah.
nice to have around. It's like that kind of stuff that maybe one in every 1,000 people that come across it are going to be like, oh, this guy's notebook. And maybe some person will walk in and say, I love ambiance because I'm just going to have a pianist playing in my home all the time. But no, I think that is 100% for fun. I hope they were not doing it with the idea that this is going to increase their offers.
I really don't know. I thought that was a little crazy. It was over the top. I've seen a lot of things in my life, but I'd never seen something quite like that. Even when we left, I had my buyer with me, and he was like, "Wow, what was that? That was kind of crazy." And so like he wasn't impressed. He was kind of almost weirded out by it, right?
Yeah,
It was
he's like, that
it was
was
just
weird.
too much,
Yeah.
and it made it feel a little awkward, right? And he had me to
Yeah.
protect him, like I was his shield. But if you're walking in there by yourself and you're going to be hit with waiters and an onslaught of these
Hmm.
things, you're going to feel pressure. You're going to feel kind of
Yeah.
sales pitch and put in that timeshare kind of zone of like, hey, you need to kind of buy now and work with us and things like that. So I don't know. It was just a little bit weird. I wouldn't
I
recommend it as
can't.
far as my thoughts.
Yeah. No, for the record, we do not recommend hiring a pianist and a
Yeah,
waiter.
that's for sure.
But I can't imagine what if you are a buyer and you walk into that open house solo, which we know lots of
Yeah,
buyers do.
they do. They look forward to it.
I I wonder what that
They,
sales pitch would have looked
they
like.
they're that's what they want. They want you to walk in there solo because that's what the whole point of an open house is. And yeah, they had a little team and they were scattering around and they were just rallying them up. But it's just something different, something I never seen before. I thought it'd be interesting.
Was that this weekend that you saw that?
It wasn't. It was a couple months back, and
Oh,
it
okay.
was in L.A. So it was in
Okay.
Los
Did the
Angeles,
home
in
sell very
it did. It
quickly?
did, but because it was priced right. Like I knew it was
Yeah.
priced right. It was a great house for the area, for the location. The
Yeah.
pianist and the hors d'oeuvres and the waiter had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Nothing. So
No. And again, if you're a real estate agent and you want to do that for fun and post it on your Instagram or whatever it is and say, look at this open
Yeah.
house I'm doing today, great. Awesome.
we need
Just know that it's not
we need to bring
add
we need to bring a consumer in and ask them that question at some time and see what they would think. Get an honest reaction of what their opinions of it is and so on. So
Well, you had your guy with you that was like, this is weird.
yeah, he said it was
And-
weird because I asked him. You
Yeah.
can't even actually have to ask him. He came out and said, "Wow, that was weird," and it was just
Yeah.
intense. So, but speaking of that, what pianists and high end, what do you think is the most expensive home in the world? Now, it can be, it's a house, okay, technically a house, but think anything and everything,
Okay.
including politicians and kingdoms, and like, what do you think is the most expensive house in the world?
I'm going to have to go something Saudi in one of the I think I remember some article about this giant Saudi tower that was like 13 stories of this big skyscraper that all belonged to one guy. That's going to be my guess.
You actually did hit. That is the second most expensive home in the world.
Ah,
It's not Saudi though. It's
okay.
an Indian businessman. He's the richest man in India. It's called the Antilla. It's in Mumbai, India. It is a high rise. It's 27 floors. And it's, by the way, it's not number one, but it is estimated to be valued 400,000 square feet.
100,000 square feet.
400,000 square feet. It is designed by a Chicago architect. And it was created by an Australian-based company. And one of the weird things about it is you're living in a 400,000 square foot high rise. Like, is that really your house? Like, to take an elevator to like the 13th floor? Like, what's the point of that?
Also, and he said it's what, 27 floors?
27 floors. Yeah. It's second house. Now it's valued between 1 billion and 2 billion. So it's like,
so like a little guesstimate.
Yeah, it's a pretty big range, but obviously you're talking about 5 people on the planet.
Was that the Zillow estimate? The Zillow estimate
no, it's just a generalized appraisal assessment of what they think it probably could be worth. So
it's like going to a pawn shop. You're like, this $2 billion home, we'll give you $3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's when you're talking about $1 billion to $2 billion, it's like you got 6 people you could sell it to on the planet. So it's what they're willing to. I anticipate that house would never sell for anything like that, just because not that Mumbai is actually a nicer area of India, in my opinion, but overall it's like, that's a lot of money to spend where you're not necessarily in a nice neighborhood. You're not in a nice rolling, gentle hill. There are poverty all around you and things like that. And it's just interesting to see that country's infrastructure, I think, is getting much, much better and is increasing every day. But overall, there's still a long ways to go.
So we'll take a guess real quick about what we think is going to happen with that home. It's never going to sell. It's going to be owned by that same family until, if that family decides to get rid of it, they'll probably slice it up into 10 different penthouses or something like that, because it was built so specifically for that guy that, like you're saying, nobody's going to buy it.
Well, it's also it's got 8 floors for just cars from the 27 floors. So 8 of them are just for the garages.
Where are you going to put your cars?
He's got 5 Mercedes Maybachs in there, which I don't know why that's relative in this article, but it can also withstand a earthquake of an 8.0 on the Richter scale. So that's kind of smart thinking, right? You're on a 27th floor, you're a billionaire, you probably want that thing to be pretty safe. But it doesn't answer the most expensive home. So you got close, but that's private. Like, right, this home is more that I'm thinking that is estimated to be the most expensive home in the world.
Okay. Then it's royalty. It's somebody's royalty.
Yes, very good.
Is it the Queen Elizabeth?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Buckingham Palace.
Yeah,
is estimated to be worth $1.55 to $2 billion, as far as if it was ever for sale. Goes to figure. But just so you know, the Queen of England enjoys 775 rooms, 188 staff
she
rooms.
enjoys all of them.
I wonder if she's been in all of them. You know, she's like, I'm going to make this year the year of I visit every room. And then she takes a selfie in every room, like 755 times.
She's got those little corgis with those tiny legs. No way they're walking around that
that's why she's got a bunch of them so they can split it up. But she's from those 775 bedrooms, there are 185 staff rooms, including 52 royal and guest bedrooms, 92 offices, 78 bathrooms, and 19 staterooms, which is estimated to be the most expensive home on the planet if it was for sale or possibly for sale. But I wonder if she got an offer for $2 billion if she would take it. Probably not when you own a country, right? So I don't think it's exactly necessary.
Well, and that's a tough one, because it's even more in this category of who the heck is going to live there.
Yeah.
We know who's going to live there.
That's totally right. You know who's going to live there, fit for royalty, for sure.
Yeah. So. Well, I can't wait. Oh, well, excuse me. Let me rephrase this. I almost said I can't wait for the Queen to pass away. That's not what I mean. Queen, I love you.
Topic. You start and end with the bookends. I got it.
No. So what I was going to say is I can't wait for the next generation to move into that house and then see the reality show that comes from that. Get Meghan Markle and everybody in there and do that reality show. I would watch that.
I would watch that. The Buckingham Palace reality show on Netflix.
What's the?
You only need a starting budget of like $2 billion, and you're good to go. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, all the whole royal family is gonna live there. All the grandkids, all the nieces and nephews, and all that kind of stuff. I love it. Fill those 700 rooms. I want that royal family to
Yeah.
take over the whole place.
Yeah, no, I think you're onto something. I would definitely watch. Better than $1 Million Listing at least. So,
Yeah,
all right.
that's incredible. That is incredible. Thank
Anything
you.
else you got for me?
I've got lots of stuff, but those are coming on the next
Okay,
episodes.
sounds good. Well,
Yeah.
we appreciate you guys. If whoever stuck out long enough, probably no one. So at least it was nice talking to you with a video camera in our face. But anyways, hopefully next time we join, we're going to try to do this every Tuesday, week by week. And again, if there's any questions or comments, we're going to post this on YouTube as well, where you can actually on Facebook as well, right? So we're going to do it on Facebook. We're going to do it on YouTube. We're essentially going to also try to do this live at some point, which I don't know how that's going to turn out, but that should be fun, where we can actually see that one, maybe two people watching. But until then,
Both of our moms.
yep, our moms are here. So for now, we've got our two fans, and I thank you, and we'll see you next week.
Okay. Bye, guys.